just want to say from the beginning, can you please leave a comment at the end of this video?
You debuted a new look recently, Meghan.
Yeah, what do you think?
Well, the hair's nice, but on this new picture of you from your TED Talk appearance, you do look a little bit plastic. See, we said plasticini, but plastic works.
It's just that sometimes, some of us, right, we're lucky enough that even when we're in our early, mid-40s, you can still have those days where your skin's just like perfect, like radiant.
So, Mr. Stallion, we've been treated to a story of you losing your virginity at 17 to an older lady in a field behind a busy pub, a horse lover who treated you like a young stallion. I know. It's the stuff dreams are made of. Oh, come on. I like an older lady. I'm 38 and you're 41.
Yeah, that's right. 41.
Well, the one thing we can be sure of is that the media are going to go full hog now to try and find out who the lucky jockey was, who we're guessing is probably in her 50s by now. Although you might find that many women come forward claiming to be the one wearing the stirrups, so to speak.
Yeah, and it could become an I am Spartacus moment.
Look, let's leave Cory Booker out of this. And I don't want any recriminations for this lady. Yes, okay, she treated me like a prime cut of royal meat.
She smothered him in mustard.
Yeah, coarse-grained Dijon, in fact. But that's not the point. The point is that there were some mitigating factors.
Such as?
Look, first of all, that saddle would only suit someone with red hair. And second of all, no one else could be bothered to fiddle with all those manacles.
Crikey.
Well, we have already had some high-profile 50-somethings come out and deny being the woman in question.
Yeah, I saw that Liz Hurley pled not guilty.
No, I could never get that one over the line.
Excuse me?
Oh, everybody knows that Liz Hurley's a bit of a prude. You're never going to get her to stray into something weird or unconventional. And besides, I think she's allergic to mustard. Some lawyers have claimed, Harry, that your reckless admission to using multiple illegal substances might threaten your US visa. That's so stupid. It was medicinal.
Yeah, Harry partaking in these substances, it's not the same as, doesn't directly correlate with, using drugs, taking drugs. He's not a druggie. He's not like one of those, street people. Sorry, what are they called again?
The homeless.
Yeah, that's it, the homeless. Ugh. Yeah, they're drug takers, drug users, druggies. And they should be, labeled as such, and shunned. Whereas what Harry was doing was just using those substances to open up a pathway so, he could finally, get to me, in terms of, in spirit and in physicality.
That's right. Don't compare me to some common crackhead. I used it for spiritual renovation.
Ah, rejuvenation.
Oh, so you are sympathetic to the idea of ingesting such substances, Meghan?
What, me personally? No, it's a filthy thing to do.
During the first episode of your podcast, Meghan, you shared a harrowing story about being forced to continue with royal engagements after a fire had broken out in your son Archie's bedroom, billowing deadly smoke. It was traumatic, really traumatic. However, it appears that Archie wasn't in the room at the time. He was with a nurse instead.
I couldn't believe it. It didn't make any sense. I knew it was wrong. I knew it was wrong, but I was being made to continue. I was being forced to carry on. And for the royal family, it's all about how things looked and not how they felt.
Whereas Meghan and I make all of our decisions based on how we feel. I'm sure you'll agree. It hasn't done us any harm. Well, as obvious as that is, Harry, some might say, Meghan, that if we were traumatized every time something might have happened, we'd live our lives in a perpetual emotional despair, expecting others to bend to our neurosis.
It's a real sad indictment of the unbending nature of royal protocol. When a near miss like this, which could have done serious damage to my son, is supposed to be shrugged off, just carry on, take it on the chin.
Instead of treating it with the seriousness it deserves and whining about it non-stop for a few days.
Yeah, and then take a few more to rediscover that calmness of spirit that's been lost to the drama. Yes, but only a false drama created by yourself.
And after we've found that calmness, it's time to reflect on the incident for a few weeks.
Oh, I see. So imagined near misses will take about a month to recover from. Yeah, a month, 6 weeks. We have a question here from a Mr. Percival Penguin who wears suits you can't bend in. Mrs. Gwendolyn Guineafowl. Samuel Satsuma, who loves rice but hates tuna. Dr. Daniel Nathaniel, who's rescued a spaniel. Petulia Pringle, who's 6 months single. Mr. Gavin Gannett from Thanet. Mrs. Philippa Flyover from Heathrow. Frederick Finbar Flutter, who has a problem with his stutter. Mr. Malcolm Marshmallow, who's a sweet but fluffy fellow, asks, Mr. Charlie Chester from Cirencester would like to know whether you set limits on the expense of the gifts you exchange at Christmas. Oh, yeah. It's important to set limits,
Yeah, you've got to have boundaries.
As I say every year, never spend more than $1 million.
But never less than 500,000.
Yeah, I think that's, Harry's own personal lower limit,
No, it was in the prenup.
No, Harry, it wasn't.
Yeah, remember you got that $2,000 an hour lawyer to check the veracity before you let me slip the ring on your bony finger. Oh, it was such a romantic night.
I just think I'm going to TED Talk and I've got flawless skin, right? So, yeah, it eats people up. And if that's the case, you know what? I've got nothing but compassion for them.
She's all give.
Well, Larry Lemon thinks you look like you've been replaced by your Madame Tussauds waxwork.
Well, I can confirm that she doesn't sit too close to the fire at the moment, to prevent unwanted dripping. I'm just going to put a pair of sunglasses on right now because I am blinded by the sexism and the, what's that other one, Meghan, that's like sexism but makes you sound smarter?
Misogyny.
Misogyny on show here from Mr. Satsuma.
We've already shown that we've got a lot of expertise about life, and we have much more, to be discovered.
And we've got my story to share, how I went from a young fool, wasting his life, seduced by the sweet fruits of happiness, instead of properly concentrating on my mental health.